about 2 to 5. Okay. Hold, just hang out and watch the demo for a minute, and then I'll show you. Start off with like between 2 and 4 like pounds of clay, and you can just go back to the recycle clay in the back area. We have like a huge mountain of it going right now, and you can just grab a bag, or for the day. And if you want to, like say later on, want to use B-mix or some nicer clay than recycle, then by all means just ask. But I think for starting off, when we're like practicing and learning, recycle is like the way to go. Okay, so you're gonna get it centered. You're gonna open her up, and then like when I open it up, I still keep it pretty wide as I open it, so I can see where I'm going. I'm staying in the center, and then I'm gonna measure the bottom. Ooh, I got a little thick. What you're looking for again is about a finger thickness for the base, and a little thicker is okay too. Like, don't feel bad if you leave a lot on the bottom, like I did on my demos yesterday, because I love that for trimming the base. If they get too thin on the bottom, it gets really tricky. Okay, hello, you look sleepy. All right, so I'm going to show you one really easy way to do this, and then I'll show you another less easy but still workable way. So following all the same steps where I've opened, and I'm going to sweep the floor pretty flat sweep, just like we usually do, but like a pretty short sweep, not too big. So just like a quick little small sweep of the floor, not a huge, I'm not going like way wide, I'm just going to do a little one. And then I'm going to compress the bottom because I don't want to get any S cracks down there. So compressing the bottom, and I've got like kind of like a beefy, fat bunch of clay right there to pull up. So I'm going to kind of pull up just the same as we're used to by like pushing in the bottom, compressing, and pulling like a thick cylinder. And the key for bowls is having a really thick, fat lip at the top. I'll explain that in a minute why. So I'm just going to take my time, not be so rushy, keep it kind of like thick and fat up there at the top. Still kind of doing a cylinder, but it's like a cylinder that's fatter at the top. I'm going to pull some clay from the bottom, maybe do one more pull up there. Okay, so I have a cylinder that's basically like fat at the top, and the reason why is all that clay needs to stretch wide. So you need enough clay at the top to stretch wide. Alright, so now instead of keep pulling, with my outside hand and kind of going straight up, now I'm going to start to kind of pull, instead of kind of like doing this body motion, kind of more of like a wide motion. So instead of like the goalpost shape that we were shooting for, now it's more of like a nice U, like a smooth U shape. Alright, here we go. Let's make it happen. So we're going to kind of pull. I'm just putting more pressure on the inside than I would normally, and I'm slowing it down kind of as I get a little wider and wider. Compress the lip. So I just put a little bit more pressure on the inside that time because I pulled out. And then, so that's kind of like a good start, right? Here's the fun part. I grabbed a whole bunch of ribs from the table. I've got my metal rib that I like for the outside of bowls. I got this kind of nice squishy plastic rib. Here's another one, it's a little bit stiffer. Here's one with a cool curve. And then here's a little wooden one that has a nice curve in it. Hopefully I didn't get clay on my face just then. I like this rounded wood one. So I'm just going to take that little puppy. I'm going to put it right around 4 o'clock on the dial. And I'm just going to push it along the side of the wall here. Kind of like down at the bottom. And work my way up to the top. So I'm trying to make kind of like a smooth, like a still kind of a flat spot in the bottom here. But my goal is to like make a nice transition between the base, I'm just gonna, and then the wall. So like it doesn't go like curve, flat spot, like flat valley, and then curve. So just kind of making putting a little extra compression and love down there. And that rib really helped with the smoothness. You can like play around with this one, it's kind of fun. Just hold it nice curve. And so by having all that extra clay at the top, it really helps it stretch out. And you can see how thin it is now at the rim. Pretty straightforward. I'm just gonna swipe up some of that excess water so it's pretty dry. And I'm really working slow here because the speed of the clay at this diameter is moving faster than the speed of the clay in the center. So always have your hand movement slower than the wheel movement. And then the other thing with these is you kind of need to know when to stop, because if I keep going and keep going, this might want to collapse and fall down. So it really only took like 3 or 4 different movements. And I'm going to grab my favorite tool, my little wood knife, and I'm going to just make a little undercut, holding it kind of upside down like that, so that I can get my wire tool underneath there. Get on there, bugger. Okay. I think it helps when you talk to it. Alright, so pretty simple. It doesn't have to be too fancy at this point. But the goal for you guys is that it's like wider at the top than it is at the bottom. Like some people are making some bowls that kind of still look like this shape. You know, they're kind of like a closed C. So just try at the very least to get it wider. Does that make sense? Like, so not this, more like this. And that's okay. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about is the reason why I had you clear off your shelves is because say you want to make bowls and you want to practice trimming your own bowls and doing kind of like taking it all the way on your own. So if I decide I want to keep this bowl to keep working on it, I'm going to put it on my shelf with my name on it. The shelf that has your name. If you're having issues with that, then let me help you. We'll find you a good space. If you want to like donate it to the group, you can put it on that cart right there. And then all the bowls that go on that cart, then everybody can touch. So if you're kind of like, I don't feel like throwing bowls, I just want to trim, we're gonna need some trimmers. So those bowls are kind of like the studio bowls that everybody gets to be a part of. And the cool thing about that is then all the bowls are touched by everyone, and then it really is like this community like project versus, and then other bowls are more like artist bowls, so you could like search around and look for different artists you like. Okay, so I cut it under with water, and then I got it nice and slidey on the wheel. What you don't want to do is pick it up like this and turn it into a taco. That would not be good. So I was talking to Roland, I was like, you do the live long and prosper sign, works pretty good.
Oh my god, I saw that.
You can do this, but I don't know. And I like to kind of like use that to kind of like spin it around. You can open up the splash pan and you can slide it straight onto the board. That's probably the best way to do it. Or if you have enough clay under there to grip it, you could like grip it and pick it up like this, kind of a deal. Okay. So that way that I just showed is pretty much like the easiest way to go for a bowl. I'm going to do one more way. It's a little bit more technical. And then I'm going to trim, and then I'm going to check your load stuff. Oh, for you guys, make sure